WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. A Noxubee County supervisor has passed away after being diagnosed with COVID-19. Sherman Patterson died this morning at North Mississippi Medical Center in Tupelo. The supervisor was in his third term and was vice president of the board. Patterson was known for his steady leadership and willingness to help. Funeral arrangements are incomplete. The Mississippi State Department of Health is reporting at least 145 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Noxubee County. Now, COVID-19 testing continues in our area today. The University of Mississippi Medical Center and State Department of Health set up a testing site at Columbus High. One-day drive-through collection sites have been set up across the state. Only those with an appointment would be tested. The Mississippi National Guard assisted in collecting the samples.
It's just the safety of the community. It's being run through the Mississippi Department of Health, and we're just trying to play our part in the partnership with the state and serve our state mission.
More than 7,000 people have been tested at similar sites throughout the state and at the Mississippi State Fairgrounds. The Mississippi Department of Health is reporting 263 new cases of COVID-19 today. The new cases bring the state's total to almost 12,000. 16 new deaths are also being reported. One of those is in Yalobusha County. Statewide, there are now 570 coronavirus deaths. The Health Department is estimating 7,800 Mississippians have recovered from the virus. As businesses, restaurants, and even gyms have reopened in Mississippi, churches are now working on their plans. Two pastors in Lowndes County say they already have plans in place for welcoming their congregations back, and safety is their #1 priority.
Make sure that the church is sanitized before service and after service. We ordered a temperature checker that no contact, so that we can check people's temps before they come in the church.
What I'm looking at possibly is maybe having 2 services. Also sanitizing of, doorknobs and things of that nature.
Now, if you'd like to know more about your church's plan for reopening, it's best to contact them by phone or through social media. Governor Tate Reeves says he will sign a $300 million piece of legislation to help Mississippi small business owners. Lawmakers passed the bill last week qualifying small businesses that were forced to close by order are eligible for a $2,000 direct payment. $240 million of the plan will be used to create the Back to Business Mississippi Grant Fund. Each business could qualify for up to $25,000 in grant money. The money is only about 25% of the state's collection of, the state's allocated $1.25 billion in CARES Act money. The legislature and governor had a dispute over who would distribute the funds, but seemed to have come to an agreement. Reeves also announces his picks to lead 2 state agencies. He is nominating Burl Cain to become the Department of Corrections' next commissioner. Now, Cain is the former warden of Louisiana's Angola prison. Mississippi State Court of Appeals Judge Sean Tyndall is Reeves' nominee for Public Safety Commissioner. Tyndall has been on the Court of Appeals since 2017. The state Senate must confirm Cain and Tyndall's appointments.
All right, weather-wise here, let me go and reset my weather computer right here. For some reason, we are starting at the back, and we will start at the front right now with our forecast here. Our Alpha Insurance Camera Network shows a great evening developing out there, developing sunshine, temperatures in the mid-70s right now. Quite comfortable. Hopefully you have taken full advantage of these quiet conditions. Those clouds that bubbled up are thinning on out. Those showers really on the way out. We had a few blips on radar. Those are going away quickly here. So low and mid-70s now. We will transition through the 60s into the 50s. For lows tonight, mid to upper 50s. Quite comfortable yet again. Humidity levels will be coming on back tomorrow into the lower 80s. Can't rule out an isolated shower. Most of us will likely stay dry, but those rain chances will come on back with the humidity starting maybe tomorrow night, but more so Friday and beyond. We'll talk about it in just a few minutes.
A construction accident yesterday in Starkville started out as a rescue, but after 10 hours, firefighters had to accept it was a recovery mission. It took a toll on everyone. Scott Martin talks with Starkville Fire Chief Charles Yarbrough to see how the department is holding up. Scott joins us live to tell us what he learned.
Yeah, Joey, well, they're all human and feel what we feel. Heartbroken by the outcome of that accident. Some of the firefighters on scene yesterday have only been with the department a year or less, and Chief Yarbrough says accidents like yesterday aren't something they see every day.
I've been here for 25 years now. My 25 years is on my second trench rescue.
Starkville firefighters and other emergency responders worked quickly, using every resource available to try and rescue two men trapped after a trench collapse. 36-year-old Zachary Wayne Osborne died on scene. 19-year-old William Kazire died on the way to the hospital. It's not the outcome that anyone hoped.
We were pretty excited because we got one out rescued, and he was talking. And then, apparently, I went to the hospital. He expired. So I think it kind of deflated our balloons after that point, to be honest with you.
Running on fumes, Chief Yarbrough says the entire operation from start to finish lasted up until around 8:30 Tuesday night, and it's a day that will leave lasting images.
This kind of stuff that you don't see often. We have a lot of young guys now who've never been a part of this, who had to live with that now. And some stuff that you see, you can't ever unsee. So.
After watching his crew work diligently to rescue and then recover victims in the trench, he knows the day took an emotional toll.
A lot of people think that we don't have emotions, I think, because we never cry in public, we never do certain things, so I think that people think that we're really tough, but actually yesterday, I could tell just by looking at their faces that they really hurt.
As firefighters, the chief says they rescue people, not the other way around. It'll take time to heal.
The ones who were out there yesterday, that's a lot for them to deal with and to take on, and then had to come back to work today, because we had some that was off yesterday that came in to help, and they had work today, so they got to put that behind. They still got a job to do today. So.
Now, Chief Yarbrough says that there will be mandatory grief counseling for the firefighters, and he's asking the community to keep the firefighters and the victims' families in your thoughts and prayers.
Columbus Fire and Rescue is one of the outside agencies that went to assist in yesterday's accident. Trench rescue training is very meticulous. According to Captain Marco Rodriguez, it's a week-long training course of 40 hours of intense hands-on training. Rodriguez says it's mostly all hands-on. Part of it includes on learning how to stabilize a trench to prevent it from collapsing. Steps are also taken to determine what type of equipment to use to get potential victims out.
Trench rescue is extremely advanced discipline. It is something that we have to do. We have to have somebody trained in that level, in that discipline. And why is it so important? Because every day in your city you see guys in trenches, whether it be contractors working on the highways or it be developing a new area or a new subdivision.
Columbus Fire and Rescue has trench training once a year. A trench for first responders is considered a pace that's 4 feet or greater. A Starkville man is accused of shooting a home and car in Clay County. Franklin Young, well, actually, this is a different story. A Nettleton man is in jail, charged in a Monroe County shooting. You see him there early Sunday morning. Deputies were called to Liberty Road near Nettleton. 2 people were shot and taken to an Amory hospital. 20-year-old Ashton Sunnier was arrested. He's charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and remains in jail on a $200,000 bond. Now to the the man from Starkville who's accused of a shooting in Clay County. Franklin Young is charged with shooting into a dwelling and aggravated assault. Deputies were called to a home on Walker Gin Road back on May 14th about gunshots being fired. Sheriff Eddie Scott says 2 bullets were fired into a home and 1 into a vehicle. 5 people were inside the home at the time of the shooting, but no one was injured. Young was arrested in Oktibbeha County by the Mississippi Department of Corrections. His bond is set at $50,000. He also has a hold placed on him. Scott believes the shooting is domestic in nature. Prices are increasing, but a local group is trying to help with those meat prices. We tell you their story and what you can expect at the grocery store this holiday weekend. Stay with us.
You're watching WCBI's News at 6 with Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. A partnership between the Family Resource Center and Molina Healthcare is getting free meat to hundreds of people impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. WCBI's Allie Martin has more from Tupelo.
Response to the free meat giveaway was so great, the Family Resource Center had to set up 2 locations. Vehicles lined up to fill out paperwork at FRC's offices on Church Street.
How are y'all? How many tickets?
The drive-through line was a couple of blocks away at the organization's offices on Magazine Street.
They're getting 10 pounds of chicken. They're getting 2 packs of bologna, hot dogs. They're getting a hand sanitizer. The first 200 got a mask that was donated to us by Blythe Cox Drugstore in Boonville.
The meat giveaway was made possible through a partnership between the FRC and Molina Healthcare. The company paid for the meat and helped with the distribution.
There's an increased need across the board, whether it's household supplies, food, anything, just pretty much, you know, people are hoarding things in the stores. So when you have a chance to give back, we can get our hands on some of the commodities and give back, it's very helpful.
Gregory Payne Sr. was one of hundreds who came through the line for free meat. He was laid off because of the COVID-19 related shutdowns, and he is grateful for help he's received from many sources.
President Trump and Tate Reeves have done everything for Mississippi that they can, and I'm appreciative of everything they've done. And God bless all Mississippians, and if you need food, please come down and get it. Do not let your pride get in the way.
Molina Healthcare is planning more partnerships like this throughout the state, and the Family Resource Center says they look forward to partnering with Molina and others who want to lend a helping hand. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Last year, the Family Research Center served 72,000 people in 42 counties across Mississippi. A shortage in workers and shuttered meat processing plants are contributing to higher prices for beef going into Memorial Day weekend. The shutdown of several plants after COVID-19 outbreaks and new restrictions on workers are slowing down shipments to stores. Those factors, combined with panic buying in the early weeks of the pandemic, have driven up prices on remaining supplies. Sam Ferris, owner of Sam's Town Market, says his store is trying to keep customers informed and reduce prices when and where possible.
So any information we get, we pass that along to our customers to make sure they understand. And in turn, we also try to accommodate them. We reduce the sizes of some packs so that the total price is not as high, or we can take other preventative measures on the shelves. We can cut our margins a little bit. We've done that in the last couple of weeks. We make enough to keep the doors open right now because we want to make sure that our customers are taken care of and they can get the food that they need to take care of themselves and their families.
Ferris believes meat prices will level off in the next few weeks as plants get more workers back on the job. As for vegetables, the pickings are pretty good locally. The Farmers Depot opens Saturday. Downtown Main Street Association says, the Downtown Tupelo Main Street Association says there will be some changes to the layout of the market to encourage social distancing. Only cash transactions will be accepted, and the use of masks and gloves will be enforced for staff, volunteers, vendors, and customers. Vendors are encouraged to bag produce before arriving at the market. Samples will not be available. The market will be open Saturday from 6 until noon. And a lot of gardens have been enjoying the weather we've had recently.
Indeed, pretty nice. Tomorrow, a little bit warmer, a mix of sun and clouds. Joey, let's fly up to Monroe County for you at Aberdeen, Amory, Smithville. 82 a popular number, it would appear, for our Thursday. The heat and humidity will be going up everywhere. We'll talk about it next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
My garden is looking fantastic. Flowers everywhere, it seems like, blossoms everywhere. And look at these good-looking flowers. Got this from Ruby via the WCBI News app today, and I'm sure your garden, if you have one, looks very colorful like these flowers here. Bees are buzzing around these flowers already. Absolutely amazing color in many backyards and front yards right now. Connect with us here, of course, the news app, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, weather@WCBI.com. That is our old-fashioned email address. Now let's talk about rainfall over the last 5 days. Some of you have had very little. Some of you have had several inches, and that's just a spotty nature, the nature of the beast, if you will, this time of year as we get into the summer season. Some of you will get soaked, some of you will not, and that will be the trend going through the weekend into next week. 30 to 40% coverage, it would appear, as we get into the holiday weekend and beyond. We flared up a few isolated blips on radar, a few showers. Look how quickly those things have fizzled as we've gone throughout the last few minutes. We have that area of low pressure to our northeast. We've had some big-time storms and rain in Louisiana. We've really been sandwiched in between today. We started off with some sun. The clouds bubbled on up. You can see that with our Louisville, Mississippi time-lapse from this afternoon. Morning sun, some afternoon clouds. And now those clouds are thinning out as we lose the daytime heating. Currently 75 degrees. It's going to be a great evening, much like yesterday evening. Clear in Vernon at 76 degrees. Durham's Pharmacy, downtown Tupelo, looking to the east, 76 degrees, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. And in Columbus, where it has been fairly cloudy this afternoon, now clearing out, 72 degrees. It should be pretty good for an evening stroll. 70s giving way to the 60s, and then some of you dipping into the 50s tonight. Many of us, let's just say all of us, in the mid to upper 50s tonight. We start out around 60 tomorrow, upper 70s by midday. It looks like some of those clouds will be bubbling on up. I don't think we'll see a lot of rain in our region tomorrow. Can't rule it out, but notice how the temperatures will be getting back into the lower 80s in many spots tomorrow afternoon. Now, there will be a warm front lifting through the region tomorrow night. That could kick off a few showers or storms. We'll see how that all plays out. Behind that, we really start to juice things up for our Friday, and the temperatures will go up into the mid to upper 80s. And starting Friday, we'll have that chance for some of these daily showers and storms, primarily during the daytime heating from late morning through the early evening. The prime window of opportunity here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Memorial Day into Tuesday, Wednesday. Coverage could be a little bit higher as we get into next week versus the weekend, but there will be some rain and storms around. Those comfortable overnight lows are on the way out after tonight, mid to upper 60s as we get into the weekend, highs in the upper 80s to around 90.
All right, thanks, Keith. College athletics could be returning to a practice field in as soon as 2 weeks. More on which sports got the go-ahead next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Good news. News that gives some hope of sports returning this upcoming fall. The NCAA Division I Council votes to approve voluntary athletic activities for football and men's and women's basketball to start June 1st through the 30th. Yahoo Sports' Pete Thamel was the first to report. While the decision to return to campus are to be made along with state, local, and university rules, voluntary work for individual athletes has been approved. A NCAA decision on other sports is expected within the next week. A fifth Mississippi State Bulldog likely won't be returning to campus when things open up. Rising sophomore defensive back Jarian Jones has entered the transfer portal. Jones saw playing time as a true freshman in 2019, recording 12 tackles and a fumble recovery, and was expected to see significant playing time this upcoming year. Jones was a four-star prospect and Under Armour All-American coming out of Northwest Rankin High School. Houston High School has hired Itawamba AHS offensive coordinator Baylor Dampier as its next head football coach. Dampier led the Indians offense for 3 seasons, averaging more than 30 points per game each year. Dampier replaces Ty Harden, who was hired on May 5th to be the head coach of Tupelo High School football. The Daily Journal's Brad Locke was the first to report. 1 year ago today, Mississippi State and LSU battled in the longest SEC baseball tournament game in history. 17 innings, 6 hours and 43 minutes. And if you were up to watch the end of this one, it was around 3 o'clock Thursday morning, LSU tying it up in the 8th before Gunnar Halter would win it with an RBI base hit in the 17th. The Bulldogs would lose to LSU in the quarterfinals just 2 days later. And on the same day, the second-seeded Arkansas Razorbacks took down Ole Miss 5-3. The two would also meet again 48 hours later. Ole Miss winning the one that counts 3-2 in the quarterfinals before falling to Vanderbilt in the SEC Tournament Championship. We were supposed to get SEC baseball tournament this week, but hey, some flashback for you on this Wednesday. But that's it for sports. The last look at your forecast next.
Memorial Day weekend is upon us, and that means warmer temperatures, upper 80s to around 90, more humidity. Limited chances of rain tomorrow, Joey, but those pop-up showers and storms as we get into Friday and beyond.
All right. Thanks so much, Keith. And thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a great night.